Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Potters Pundits, and this week we welcome the visit of Middlesbrough, who aren't in the finest of form but are sitting in 13th spot. Stoke have now entered the relegation zone and it's not looking good, but a huge 3 points needed on the weekend. Hopefully it can happen and hopefully we can capitalise on a bit of poor run of form for Middlesbrough, but it's going to be a tough side who have proved themselves many times in the Championship that they can deliver. Hopefully we can get the much needed points and it's going to be a very interesting one. But before I head into who I think is going to be in the lineup, let's take a look at the set of fixtures that I think are going to be crucial to get us well away from League One football. 12 games remaining for the Potters, and for me it's a really tough one. You're looking at the games that maybe we've got coming up quite closely after this Middlesbrough game, and it's against teams that are in and around the kind of automatic promotion playoff places, so they've still got something to fight for. So as much as yes, we've got something to fight for, so have they. They've got optimism, they've got a motivation, and they'll look to take the 3 points well away from us. But when I'm looking at the games coming up, I think tomorrow's game is absolutely huge. It really is. Against a side that are mid-table, maybe not really got a chance of getting relegated, but also not really a chance of playoffs, so don't really have loads of motivation, aren't in the finest of form. And if we can take the kind of bait from that and have a bit of motivation to go, you know what, let's go at this team, we're at home, Super Johnny's here, and you know what I mean, he's one of them. But I think we really do need to take this into a hard run of games. And in the Championship, sometimes it is about momentum, about yes, you get a 3 points, the fans then get on your side, you've got that belief that, you know what, we shouldn't be anywhere near this relegation zone. But I think it'll be tough, it really will be. And going into a game against kind of the likes of Leeds, the likes of Hull, who have got so much quality, bags of quality, and absolutely deserve to be where they are on the table, with of course motivation of wanting to go up, I think it'll be so tough. And I can't see us really, if I'm being totally honest, having the quality over them. But winning games against Middlesbrough, give us them 3 points, keep us away from the relegation zone, will be crucial. But when I'm looking at the Championship table from the previous seasons, I really do feel like we need to be aiming for that 50-point mark. Currently on 35 points in this season, which for our standard isn't good enough at all. It really isn't. We haven't put the ball in the back of the net as much as we would have liked, and we haven't shown that enough quality that we have seen before. We've seen it quite a few times, especially when we went on them 7 unbeaten under Schumacher. That's real quality, but we haven't shown it as of late. But with the previous seasons, like last season, the team that were in 21st had 49 points. The team that went down in 22nd had 45 points. So that's 10 points off what we've got now with 12 games to go. Surely that isn't a hard task to be kind of set for the boys, but I'm looking at this Championship and I feel like it'll be much difficult. I feel like it'll be such a high points mark that all the teams below us or in and around this relegation zone could hit the 50 zone, could just even scrape us over the line. That's 15 points from 12 games, 5 wins. I know that's easier said than done, but 5 wins or maybe 3 wins, 6 draws or something like that, where we can just get a little bit of form or just scrape a draw. A point is better than none, and at the moment we've not even been able to get a point. When I'm looking at these set of fixtures, a big 12 games, I'm looking at kind of the next kind of 4 after this Middlesbrough game. They're going to be really tough. If we can show quality, show battle, and show what we're made of, getting a point will be absolutely what we need right now. I'm sure Stoke fans, any day of the week, will prefer a battling performance where we get something out of it. But with the set of fixtures, following on from that, the likes of Plymouth, Huddersfield, Swansea, and Sheffield Wednesday, all teams in and around the bottom of the Championship, including Plymouth. I mean, if you look at the table, points-wise, you could easily slip down this table. It really is one of them things where, yes, you might have an easy run of form, but you don't pick up the momentum. Slipping down the table is so easy in the Championship. It really is. Them games, that's 12 points on offer if we win them. It's huge, absolutely huge. We get them points. Yes, it's easier said than done, but we win them battles, they sink lower and it's all to play for. But we have to build momentum. We have to show battling performance, and we've had the chances. Like the game against Cardiff, we had our chances and they took them and we didn't. And it's the story of the season so far. It really is. We've had chances. It's not as though we've been absolutely outplayed. Yes, against Leicester and other teams like that, it has been an example. But in most of the games, we should have at least got a point, and it hasn't. Which is why I don't feel Schumacher is to blame for kind of any of this. That's where we have to go, you know what? back Schumacher. We don't want to play League One football. We've got 12 games to go, loads of time left, but also build the momentum and get behind the boys. And of course, Schumacher said how the fans have to have something to back and the players need to show that. So it shows how there's that unity still there. I feel like this game could really turn around our season, not in the sense of, oh yeah, we'll go on a playoff push, but in the sense of, you know what, these next 12 games, we're going to take them game by game and we're going to absolutely get the points. Whether that's a point or even 3, I honestly, I don't mind. A point's better than none. So move us away from this relegation zone, get us the points, but it's going to be tough. We've got some really tough set of fixtures. We have to capitalise on Middlesbrough having a poor run of form, get them much needed 3 points, go into a tough set of fixtures that are going to be really hard, and hopefully we can move away from the relegation zone. So moving on to the lineup for the game against Middlesbrough, and same again, what formation do we play? Is it a 4-3-3 which we played against Cardiff, or do we revert back to the 3 at the back? But for me, I feel like, in a way, the personnel and the players we've got on offer speaks for itself. We haven't got loads of room at the back to play or chop and change. So I think it'll be a back 4 for me. Maybe has leaked the goals as of late, has been an example of us being exploited at the back. But I feel like the personnel and the team news that Schumacher has given us is just going to explain what formation he goes for. So, in between the sticks, I'm going to go for Daniel Iverson. I don't think he'll be best pleased with his performance against Cardiff, especially the goal with Carlon Grant. I don't think he'll best be pleased with how it got through him, but it's one of them. He has to keep his head up. He's a quality keeper and has shown us glimpses of what he can do. So, I feel like, obviously, keep him in between the sticks, command the box, and hopefully he can get another clean sheet. Then on to our back 4 now, and it's one of them where I think it really does speak for itself. Luke McNally's now injured, Junior Shamadou is out for 6 weeks, and Jordan Thompson is out with a 2-match suspension, so I think it really does speak for itself. We haven't got loads of defenders at our disposal. So the back line, I'm going to go for Lyndon Gooch at left back, with Ben Wilmot and Michael Rose, and Keanu Hoover as our right back. Can't think, for me, if maybe you revert back to a 3 at the back with kind of Wilmot, Rose and Hoover, you could do that, but I feel like he'll just keep with the 4 at the back. I think it still could work. It really could, because you've got players who have got quality there. Keanu Hoover showed what he could do in the back 3. Of course, the right back is a role that he's used to. And then Lyndon Gooch has played in the left back role for Schumacher before. So I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. It's a back line that are experienced, and hopefully we can just have that bit of quality at the back to make sure that we don't concede any goals. Now moving on to our midfield 3, and it's not like our defence where we don't really have loads on offer, where academy players may come into the side because of injuries, but in the midfield, loads of players on offer, and in a way it's personnel, it's whoever we're playing and how tactically we're going to look at it. But for me, I'm thinking this kind of midfield 3 are one where they've shown what they can do, bags of potential, and I feel like Stoke fans can really get behind them. In the midfield 3, in the back of it, I'm going to go for Wouter Berger. Of course, it speaks for himself. He's a fantastic player, he really is. I would be really confused if he wasn't in the side unless he was injured, but I doubt it. So he has to be in the side. A fantastic player, a great signing, and for me, probably our player of the season. Has been superb for the Potters, and he just should absolutely be probably one of the first people on the team sheet. Then on to the 2 in front of him, and this is where you could go for varied options. You've got the likes of Luke Cundle, and Pearson could possibly move into the Wouter Berger role, and Berger goes a little bit further forward. But for me, I'm going to go for Josh Laurent and Lewis Baker, both experienced men, both players who have shown their quality and absolutely know exactly what it means to be a Stoke player. I think as well, having that opportunity of having Luke Cundle off the bench give us a little bit more of an attacking threat. I feel like this 3 of experienced players but also have bags of quality. Josh Laurent, who is a fantastic player, both interceptions and also passing and getting the ball moving to make sure that we're playing a bit more of an offensive style of play. And similar with Lewis Baker, it was his set piece. Yes, it was saved and rebounded and Jun Ho scored, but the likes of that, we haven't had that before, where we've had a player that can actually take set pieces. So having the likes of him in the midfield who can also give us a different aspect of his game. And then finally, who we play up top, and it's a tough one because sometimes it just is on personnel or who's fit or whatever. You never know who's maybe fully fit and who's carrying a little knot that could make a massive difference. For me, I'm going to stick with Niall Ennis up top. Of course, Nathan Lowe or Wesley could play there, but I feel like Niall Ennis, I feel like Schumacher trusts Niall Ennis up there. He got about. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to take his opportunities against Cardiff, but it's that movement, it's that space, and it's making sure that he's getting the chances, and he got and hopefully against a bit of a shaky Middlesbrough side, he can get them and capitalise on them. Now, moving on to our two wingers, and the first person is another one that's like Berger, where I'd say, I feel like if he's not in the side, he just makes a difference. And for me, Bae Jun-ho in the side, I've said it before on different previews, he's a fantastic player. He's got his first goal for Stoke. Hopefully, he can get many more before the season is done, but he's a great player, great wand of a right foot, and also has great feet as well. Great dribbler. I think he can just give a little bit more of a partnership, maybe with Ennis or the kind of midfield. I feel like he can work his magic. And then finally, the right wing position. And this was the one where I wasn't really sure who to go for, because obviously Manouf has only recently come into the side, so still adjusting, but has shown great glimpses of what he can do, taking on a man, cutting inside and being a threat. And of course, his passes through to Niall Ennis, which gave us the chances, we just didn't take him. And then you've got the likes of Tyrese Campbell, Andre Vidigal, who can play on the wing as well, Mehdi Lloris. All players that could be, if they're showing what they're doing in training, Schumacher will put his faith in them. So it was a really tough one, because it's one of them where you're trying to find the right formula. Can't have a go at Schumacher for chopping and changing, because he's just trying to find what's right. And if players aren't fully fit or aren't fully ready, he's not going to pick you. So for me, I'm going to keep with Manouf. Based on his performances and a bit more quality from him, I feel like it just makes sense to keep that front three that played against Cardiff. Hopefully a bit more of a partnership going forward and a little bit more of a threat. But it could be the likes of Tyrese Campbell, who, you know what, we know his potential. We really do. With the injuries and all that stuff, I feel like he just hasn't been able to kickstart it. Manu, for me, I feel like he'll just come into the side. A much needed 3 points for this Potters side. Hopefully it happens tomorrow. Fingers crossed anyway, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.